Welcome in, everybody, to another live post-game edition of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin here with my co-host James Haskell and DK in the background. And we are here in glorious fashion as the Ravens absolutely manhandled the Pittsburgh Steelers, coming away with a resounding victory. Not to anyone's surprise, but it was nice to see nonetheless, Jimbo.
Yeah, great to see. A little bit of validation. It's always great when you get a Pittsburgh win, and it was great to be out there at the bank tonight. The vibes were high, incredible environment. Of course, we'll talk more about that. But before we do, let's shout out our awesome sponsor who's been great to us all season, and we love riding with them. BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC, BetOnline is the number one sports betting source for the new year. From touchdowns to three-pointers to hat tricks, BetOnline has you covered on every game, every play, every win. BetOnline. How's it go, Glenn?
The game starts here, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go. Let me tell you what, Glenn. It was a game tonight. Well, honestly, it was a game, but it was also a much more of a lesson for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We took them to school, packed up the lunchbox, walked them out to the bus stop, drove them into school, beat the fanny, and that was about the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, this was clearly the Steelers Super Bowl, and you know, I got bad news for Steelers fan. They lost their Super Bowl tonight. I mean, got absolutely manhandled. It felt as if the touchdowns they did score were. It was almost like the Ravens were just like it never felt a competitive game. I'll say it like that, Jimbo. It felt like a complete and total mismatch on the field. And we all knew there was a possibility the Steelers could win the game. However, we also knew that the only chance they had was by massive missteps by the Ravens. Turnovers, penalties, completely getting outcoached. And none of those things happened tonight. We saw a dominance from Derrick Henry. We saw why we brought him to Baltimore. He absolutely ran wild on the Steelers. And as much as they want to be the bullies on the block, they certainly weren't that tonight.
Yeah, I love what Quan says. Glenn, what flight we on with that mic? You sound like a pilot. You have a little bit of a pilot sound. We're going to have a little bit of turbulence. Bring it a little closer to you.
All right, we'll try and bring it. Is that better?
It's just got a little bit of a pilot, though, but it's fine. Like, it's clear. But, Glenn, speaking of Derrick Henry and our sponsor, I think it's appropriate to share this video because, as this video says, let's see here. I just want to show this real quick. Social media is certainly undefeated.
By Derrick Henry on Fitzpatrick. Stiff arm by Derrick Henry on Fitzpatrick there at the end of that play.
Just stiff-armed him right into Cancun, baby.
Oh, man, went straight to vacation after that one. Look, the Steelers knew they weren't going to win this game. Everyone knew, and I loved watching the Steelers fans sit and sulk in the stands. This was a complete mismatch, Jimbo. The run game just did exactly whatever it wanted to do. And, look, Zay Flowers missing, we thought it would be a bigger impact on the game. But, hey, let's just hope that Zay's ready for the next round.
100%, dude. And that's the thing, right? Like, we talked about this at the beginning of the game. They won the toss. What's up, DK? You good? Oh, it's because when you took your drink, it hit the mic. That's all.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're all good. You're all good. They decided to receive after winning the toss because they thought they were gonna somehow jump out to a lead and their defense was gonna be able to be aggressive. The funniest part about it was like, depending on your offense to score, I just didn't understand that. The Pittsburgh Steelers are delusional about who they are, I guess. But they did try to get us into a cycle that we've sort of struggled with in years past. I'm not overly concerned about it this year. But immediately, we get the stop and we go down and do what we do, right? With 95 yards that first drive after the muff punt. We had 3 first downs, Glenn, in our territory.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Jimbo, I don't think the Steelers reached the Ravens' red zone. Is that correct?
That's right. They scored 2 touchdowns, but from outside the red zone. That's correct. Yeah, they didn't even sniff the red zone tonight. The Baltimore, and I can give you guys some stats. If you're talking offensively for the putrid Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Russell Wilson threw for 270, but he was sacked 4 times for a loss of 19 yards. His QBR was 46. 46. He was 20 for 29, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Justin Fields was 0 for 1 with 0 yards, 0.0 average, 0 touchdowns, and a 39.6 rating. I don't even know how he gets a rating for that.
Yeah, that is absolutely horrendous.
Question for you, Glenn. How many yards did Najee Harris average per carry today, if you had to guess?
Oh, average per carry, I'm going to say 1.9.
It wasn't that bad. I'll give you one more guess.
2.3.
Very close. 2.8. 6 carries, a whopping 17 yards. Now, on the other side, Derrick Henry, 26 yards, 26 carries. What do you think his average was?
Well, I think I remember seeing he went for like 160, so 26 carries. I'm going to guess 6 yards a carry.
7.2. Went for 100, $186, 2 tutties, 26 carries. Dude, Derrick Henry is an absolute animal. I mean, dude, the offense ran it, Glenn, in the first 32 plays. How many times do you think we ran the ball?
Yeah, we didn't throw it much. I'm going to say 23 times in the first 32.
Incredibly close. 24 times. 24 times we threw the ball in 32 offensive plays, the first 32 offensive plays of the game. And one of the things John Harbaugh said that I really liked in the postgame was that we don't run a system. We don't run the West Coast system. We don't run this. We don't run that. We run the Ravens system. We do what we have to do to win. It's something he likes about all our coaches is that how do we put our guys in position to win, right? Like not how do we run a system. And I don't think that was the plan. I think we all knew that Derrick Henry was going to tote the rock tonight because of what he did against Pittsburgh last time. But 24 out of 32, I don't think is what we were planning. And to that point, did you because I liked it. So let me ask you this way. I liked at the beginning that Lamar said, look, if you guys are going to play this type of defense, you're going to play man, and you're going to allow me to run, I'm just going to keep running until you stop me from running. And it's not like he broke one for 50, broke one for 12. You know what I mean? He was just chipping away. But it was problematic for the defense. I love to see him doing that because once again, it plays into our hands instead of playing into their hands. Do you agree with that?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, if you're gonna play press man coverage and ignore the fact that we have Lamar Jackson at quarterback, then he's just gonna turn into the one read quarterback and then take off. And I love to see it. Why put the O-line at risk when you have pass rushers like TJ Watt and Cam Hayward? You got Herbig, you got Highsmith. No, one read and Lamar, if you see a hole, take off. At our worst plays today, Jimbo, were 3 yards per. That's pretty good. When that's your worst plays is getting 3 yards. When you look at what the Steelers were able to do conversely, I mean, they had a ton of negative plays, a ton of 1 to 2 yard gains. The Ravens' worst plays, Jimbo, were 3 yard gains. I think that says a lot. And yeah, Lamar was decisive with his running. He wasn't, holding the ball, trying to get the ball down the field. No, one read, get out of there early, and then in the second half, just certainly leaned on Derrick Henry. And man, I mean, that guy absolutely proved why the Ravens signed him. This wasn't close, Jimbo. We didn't think the only way this game could have been close if the Ravens had made errors. This is exactly how we expected it to go. And okay, it's just a matter of who we're playing next. Are we going to luckily somehow pull out a home game, or are we going to Buffalo? I'm hoping we go to Buffalo, Jimbo. I want the hardest road. I want to take out Buffalo next and then Kansas City after that.
I don't disagree with you in that it would be great to beat Buffalo. However, I do think Buffalo gets beat tomorrow. I'm calling the upset. Buffalo does get beat tomorrow by the Broncos. I'll say that I also want to shout out Roquan really quickly before we get to this super chat. Yeah. Roquan said today, quote, I think I remember my guy PQ saying the last time we played them, it was for a hat and a T-shirt, but I guess the T-shirt he got on will be in Cabo or somewhere. Ooh.
Yeah, let him know, Ro.
Woo! And then CJ Ladder says, How about it? Them Ravens 299 yards on the ground. It's actually 300 if I'm not mistaken, right? That's what they said at the
They
stadium.
said 300 in the stadium. Oh, well, kneel downs. Did we have kneel downs? Did we go? Yeah,
Let's see.
yeah,
Let
maybe.
me go up to team stats real quick.
But either way, no defense in the league wants to allow another team in the playoffs to go for 300 yards rushing. That's completely demoralizing. That's way worse. That's way worse than a 400-yard passer. 300 yards in the ground, you're taking the will of the defense. You're embarrassing them. And look, I'm all for it, Jimbo. I love to see it because, look, we saw some Steelers fans. Not many. I'll give Ravens fans credit. They came out and showed out. They were loud. They were proud. We did see some Steelers fans, but it's just like, were you here celebrating your Super Bowl? Because you knew you weren't going any further, and it would have taken a miracle to beat us. But it just makes you wonder what Steelers fans were thinking coming out to this one.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, man. There was some great interactions tonight. Sean Pisker says, seeing Queen sulk after Henry's second touchdown warmed my heart. Love you guys. That was a great one, Sean. And it was funny because it was a familiar sight, right? Derrick breaks it. And before he gets completely, through that level linebackers into the secondary and runs past them, here we see Patrick Queen trying to do like a half-hearted attempted grab at Derrick Henry. Yep. And I think he maybe got a couple like fingers on the jersey and that was it. But nah, he had wanted nothing to do with that. Yeah. And then I also love that after that play, because if I'm not mistaken, they scored and then we came back and scored in 4 offensive plays. Mm-hmm. That Derrick took it for 44 yards. And in that was the same moment, Glenn, where we saw Cam Hayward walking off the field, just dejected, just shaking his head. I had a buddy text me during the game and said, you should see the Steelers players on TV. The defense looks defeated, done, quit. They didn't want anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. And a guy like Cam Hayward to walk off the field, just done for. I mean, it's just so satisfying. I also got a shout out because I talked about him in our pregame show. Our right tackle, Roger Rosengarten.
Yeah.
So last week he had a little bit of virality on social media because he told Myles Garrett, quote, "I'm a nobody." And then in his NFL playoff debut, Rosengarten spent most of the game blocking who? TJ Watt.
Yep.
Glenn, TJ Watt did not surrender a single statistic in this game.
Garbage. You talk about empty calories. This is a guy in big games who absolutely disappears. I don't care what anyone says. He does so. I mean, every big game for the Steelers, this guy's an absolute no-show. If you want to be a superstar, if you want to be DPOY, then you got to show up when it matters most. And the last 2 games, we've seen an absolute no-show from this guy. And I love to see it. Roger's a rookie. He's already taken this guy to school. Bright future for Roger. We took their will, Jimbo. You saw the line of scrimmage was the Ravens' offensive line was moving the Steelers 3 yards per carry. Like, it was absolutely unbelievable. Like, you talk about wanting to be the bullies, a big physical front. It didn't look like that tonight, Jimbo. The Steelers were absolutely pushed around by the Ravens' offensive line, and it was encouraging to see, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's the most enjoyable way to win a game, right? You just took the soul right out of them and ended it. Tom Votto says we scored 28 points on the Steelers defense with no Zay Flowers. Just think how many points we can score on Buffalo's defense with Flowers. I think the Steelers defense is 10 times better. For sure.
Yep.
I'm also, so I mean, that's definitely the case. I believe that. And looking forward to that. I mean, that matchup, if it happens, is going to be a lot of fun. But I think we end up seeing the Texans.
What time is that game? Do you know what time that Buffalo game is? It the early game or the late game?
Let me check real quick. Tomorrow, the Buffalo game is the early game, 1 p.m. And then the 4:30 game is the Packers and the Eagles. And the late game is the nobody cares game, the Bucks and the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, why would they make that the night game? Who the hell cares about the Bucks and the Commanders? That's a snoozer. But, hey, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see Denver pull off the upset. They looked good going into the playoffs, playing a team that didn't have as much to play for with the Chiefs, but they took care of business. 35-0. They beat the Chiefs, and I wouldn't be shocked at all to see a rusty Bills team lay an egg in Buffalo.
Yeah, man, and I ain't going to be mad about it either. Yeah, there was a guy tonight wearing a Bills
Yeah.
jersey. That was something else.
Oh, I let him hear it too, didn't I, Jimbo? Tell me about how I let all them damn fans hear it out there tonight.
Every single one of them. Let me tell you what. Everybody in the stadium heard Glenn tonight. Every single Steelers fan. I mean, Glenn was relentless. I've seen Glenn relentless. Yes. But this was a whole nother level. I think I even learned a thing or two.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I let him hear it.
Getting creative. It was creative. It was funny. It was pretty original. And it was the appropriate amount of rude to an opposing team.
I don't cross any lines, but I go right up to that line, Jimbo.
You absolutely you Dwight Schrute, you ride that line, dude. You can sit on that fence. You can sleep on that fence, Glenn.
Oh, I took a nap, my brother.
Mike Hunter says a game of two halves. Stevens really worries me. MV3. Yeah, I think Stevens worries everybody. It is certainly concerning. I don't know.
You look bad, Jimbo. What was that?
What's up?
What was that when he tried?
Yeah.
I mean, what was that, Jimbo?
Yeah, I don't know. The problem is that we're obviously trying to fix the problem with using Tre'Davious White and things like that, but I don't know if we have a solid answer, right? Like, no team is perfect. We've got to figure it out.
Yeah.
But the only upside is, like, we've seen him play better. It's not that he's never played better. So
that's a good point.
We've seen
it's in there.
Play better. Yeah, it's somewhere in there, right? Absolutely. So, let's go. Let's all give Brandon Stevens a lot of positive vibes. Is I think the best thing we can do.
Yeah, we got to hype this guy up, get him some confidence. G-Call says, the Steelers have a number one. The Steelers have Lamar's number. He can't beat the Steelers. Yeah, the monkey is off their back. This was the ballsiest game by Harbs. Clean the flags. They didn't play cute. Yeah, exactly. We didn't see what we didn't want to see. We didn't see a game riddled by penalties. We didn't see a game where the coaching staff outsmarts themselves by trying to get too cute with their play calls. No, we saw the Ravens do what they do best. They smashed you in the mouth. They threw when it was necessary, but not when it was, they didn't shoehorn in these plays. No, they absolutely took what the defense gave them. Love what I saw from Lamar Jackson. Love what I saw from the offensive line. Love that they were able to keep the penalties down. The turnovers were obviously not a factor in the game. Yeah, man. This was the game the Ravens needed to play. Smart. They didn't need to do anything crazy to beat the Steelers. Like, just don't screw the game up and you will beat this team.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. Lamar was comparing Derrick Henry to Lightning McQueen. Sounds like Lamar and I have a similar home life. Watching a lot of Disney movies right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's so apparent, like, when you're in that stage of life.
I love it, though. Yeah, I love it because Lamar comes by it even more. He don't even have a child to blame it on. He's just that guy, man. He's all about ball.
He's got two.
And that's it. Oh, well, that's true. That's true. He does have two kids. That's right. I'm tripping.
That's what I'm saying. We're in the same stage of life. Speaking
you guys probably have similar age children as I think about it. Yep.
Right. Let's see. Young Lloyd says, I love my coach, love my team, love my state. Let's go, baby. It was funny. So if you guys didn't know, my brother was up for the game. He lives in Texas. He's from here, but he lives in Texas, lived there for a while. It was funny. Right after the game, he's like, people are different here, man. People are different. They love their Ravens. He lives he lives in Dallas Cowboys country, but dude, he's like, people love their Ravens. I'll tell you what. Speaking of people loving their Ravens, I think there's a guy loving the Ravens a little too much, Glenn, on the other side of that camera.
What are you talking about? Yeah. I just want to tell you, there's someone sleeping in front of me. I have no idea who it is. Completely unaware of who that person is.
He's got 332 people watching him sleep.
Couldn't tell you his name. Couldn't.
Oh my god!
If you offer me $1 million if I get his name right, no clue. No clue, bro.
Assuming he's Bobby's friend, right?
Yeah, he's my brother's friend, and look, he's got a Ravens hat on. That's all I need to see. He's got a spot. Yep.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude. So good. Let's Yeah, Raven Jose says, Derrick Henry, I forgive you for 2000.
Yes.
LOL.
I forgive you, Derrick Henry, for making one of our defensive players into a lead blocker. I've already forgiven you, Derrick, because of what you did now for us. Even though the memes were pretty relentless, and you did turn Earl Thomas into a lead blocker. I admit that.
I've long forgiven you. Quan says it's a reason. It's a reason they vetoed Derrick Henry trade last year. Yeah, I get it. I want to really
cheating.
Yeah, I want to get through these stats. I want to get through just a few stats real quick, Glenn, because at the stadium, of course, we know Lamar Jackson. Shout out to. I don't think we said this in the last show because I don't think it was out yet. Lamar Jackson's officially won. He's the first team All-Pro, right? This wasn't on Thursday. Was this already?
I don't think it was. No, first team All-Pro, baby.
Yeah, 4 All-Pro, four first team All-Pro players. Lamar Jackson, Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, and Marlon Humphrey. Who would have thought that we had 3 defensive? Who's second team? Kyle Hamilton was also first team All-Pro, right? No?
Yeah, I believe so.
Second team?
So.
Second team, DK?
What
the heck was in front of him?
I can't see anything DK's saying, by the way. I'm a guest right now.
Oh.
I'm a guest.
Anyway, DK's saying...
I can't see the chat. I can't see nothing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I can't see the chat, but shout out to everybody in the chat.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, we did have 4 though. Patrick Ricard, first team All-Pro.
We got to remember to pencil him in every year until he decides to retire. By the way, shout out to Liz for hooking me up with a wristband since I was dude, I almost did not get allowed into the game. It was a lot of issues, but look, they were like, this guy, I got pulled to the side. There was a wand involved. I'm just saying, I didn't get this. So shout out to Liz for hooking me up once we got to the stands.
Glenn's now duck walking after the wand experience.
Yeah, bro. They were way too invasive. Let me just say that. Okay. I'm like, is that a clean glove? All right, never mind. Okay.
God.
No, but I did have a lot getting in, and I blame Jimmy. I blame Jimmy for the trouble getting in.
You know what I love the most? Is oh gosh, you just drank that. It was like so loud.
Was it? I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Okay, no, but you know what's so funny to me is that I can literally lob any scenario over to Glenn and he just picks up and runs with it. He's like, what are you talking about? Nope, just runs right with it. Is that a clean glove? Yep. Oh my gosh. Oh, yep. Right. Anyway, no, the other thing I want to say, let me get these stats. The reason I want to get these stats is because there was a lot of MVP chants. Lamar Jackson is now the first team All-Pro quarterback. Glenn, I think you said it earlier today, and correct me if I'm wrong. The last quarterback, first team All-Pro quarterback, not that won the MVP. No, that didn't win the MVP.
Did not win.
Was Peyton Manning when Adrian Peterson won.
You got it.
Yeah, so if Lamar doesn't win it, it's absolutely fraudulent. But with all that being said, our MVP went 16 for 21, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Only sacked once, 132 QB rating. He also ran it 15 times for 81 yards. Yeah.
What was his QBR? What was his QB?
132.
Whew. Is that good, Jimbo?
Yeah, that's all right.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's anyone who thinks Josh Allen should win the game, obviously has jumped through hoops, has somehow, convinced himself, because the case you have to make for Lamar Jackson is so much easier. I mean, pull up the stats, and it's not even fucking close. I mean, complete shellacking. And anyone who says Derrick Henry diminishes Lamar Jackson in any way, Derrick Henry is as thankful that Lamar is on his team as any fan of the Ravens is. I mean, it's pretty clear. He had an absolute career year. Yes, he's had more yards, but look at his yards per carry. This guy is breaking his own records every game.
Yep.
Yeah, as much as Lamar is benefited by Derrick, but not nearly to the amount that Derrick is benefited by having Lamar as his teammate.
100%. Brandon Humble says, does PQ still love playing the villain role against the Ravens? To me, he doesn't have it in him. We dominated from start to finish. Bring on the Bills. I tell you what, Brandon, one of my favorite parts about this game was at the end, all the Steelers fans are walking out, and this dude decided it was a good idea to invest in not only a Steelers jersey, a Patrick Queen Steelers jersey, and then wear it to Ravens playoff game. Oh, I got so much enjoyment out of watching him walk. And I literally, like, I'm not as demonstrative towards the other fans as Glenn. I'll say my stuff, but I could not help. Like, I was audibly, like, laughing so hard, like a child laughs when I saw his jersey. I just couldn't help it, man. Like, I was just giggling. I'm like, bro, why? Why? Like, put a jacket on. You know what I'm saying? Cover that thing up, dude. Like, oh,
you're not that guy, PQ. You're not that guy, PQ. And in case you haven't heard it, hey, PQ, you're not that guy. You want to be that guy, but you'll never be that guy. I mean, I hate to say it, PQ, but you will never be that guy. He wants to be the villain, but nobody cares, PQ. Nobody cares because you're not impactful enough to actually care about. He made no splash plays. He was completely invisible in the field. Nobody noticed PQ. And obviously the Ravens' rush attack was in no way hindered or impeded by Patrick Queen. Yeah, he is a forever Robin and now is in search for a Batman. It's a beautiful thing to see. I hope he's happy with his contract. I'm sure he's going to convince himself that he made the right move. But we all know that he will stand in quarterback purgatory for the remainder of his time in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, next year they're going to have a 41-year-old quarterback in Aaron Rodgers.
I wouldn't be shocked.
CJ Lavender says that the no team left in the AFC has a better run defense than the Steelers. Just imagine how shook the rest of the teams are right now. This is the formula that takes us to the promised land. This is our time. Let's go. Well, CJ, look, let's make sure we stick to it, right? Let's make sure that this team sticks to the formula. And to be honest with you, CJ, I think you'd agree with this. This is the formula, but the beautiful part of this team is that we can win more ways than one. But just like, you said, obviously knocking the Steelers out, who had the best remaining rushing defense, but also I want to add a big part of that formula is our defense. Our defense playing such stout football. Just like Glenn said, they literally didn't even sniff the red zone tonight. I mean, yeah, they scored 14. They scored 14 points. We didn't play perfect, but man, we played really, really well, and we're leading in a lot of categories since week 11. So there's a lot to this formula, right? Not just offensively, but our defense is looking really good. Complementary football is looking really good. Tone the Virgo says, on to the next. Steelers had no chance. Mr. Push-Off George Pickens was irrelevant, and TJ Watt can now enjoy his Peloton equipment. Tone, I was saying it all night, dude. He's going to be double his shooting time. He's going to be making even more money off Peloton. Him and JJ are going to be out there. Dude, they're going to be I'm going to be doing a class. And I swear, if the Watts show up at my class, Glenn,
dude,
don't let turn it off. Turn it off.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, TJ Watt was completely invisible, just as he was last week. I mean, look, TJ Watt, he shows up, but he doesn't show up when big games matter. I didn't see him. I didn't hear his name called. And, yeah, George Pickens, he had the touchdown. But if you don't think that was a push-off, you're not watching the game.
Yeah.
But I don't care how good George Pickens is. I don't know how much care how much talent that guy has. I wouldn't take him on my team ever. This guy's a temper tantrum waiting to happen. He throws his teammates under the bus. He has horrible body language. I don't care how good he is. I'll take Zay Flowers 100 times out of 100 over that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I can't do anything but agree with you there. All right, we do want to make sure we get to everyone's super chats before the night is up.
Yeah.
Don C says, guys, Roger Rosegarden balled out tonight against TJ Watt. Love that guy. Great win. 100%. Super excited about, what he can do in this postseason run and in the future. Look, a lot of people, we questioned the fact that Kingsley was still on the board. If I'm not mistaken, hasn't Kingsley been benched? Kingsley
got benched out of performance, yes.
Yeah, so look, EDC knows what he's doing.
Oh, he's the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT. Paul Cole has become a YouTube member. Shout out to Paul Cole for becoming a member. Make sure you check out the musings that DK put up I believe this morning or later this afternoon. Certainly check out the YouTube member content. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I'm selfishly hoping that the Ravens have to go to Buffalo to beat Josh Allen in his own backyard. But look, I'll take a home playoff game too. I'll take an upset from Denver that brings a Houston Texans team to Baltimore.
Back. They're back.
What the hiccups? Dude. I've been drinking, Jimbo. I've been drinking.
I know.
Yeah, it's been happening.
Lil X Nation says, keep fighting, Flock. It's crazy because this team can still improve, and they are. It's scary for the other team. It is. Well, I'm with you there, X. I don't think that's delusional to say that there's still opportunities for this team to improve. And they're continuing to round out into form. All right, DK, let's keep rolling through these, my man. Look, the two kids are his relatives, by the way, not his. I thought anyway, it doesn't really matter. I don't want to get too much into Lamar's personal life.
Who are we talking about?
Lamar. I thought he had two daughters.
I think he at least has one, right? At least one.
Yeah, for sure. But either way, look, Disney movies, you can be any age for Disney movies, dude. I was so pumped to see Mufasa, dude. It was like I was going to watch a Ravens game.
I seen it. It was awesome.
Dude, let me tell you what. Don C, the guy on the anyway, we can get into Mufasa another show. Don C, the guy on the couch looks like DK on an average Friday night.
Dude, face in the sofa, bro.
DK's walking from the bar towards the couch. I got to get into AA tomorrow.
Yep.
I gotta be in the church basement tomorrow.
There he is.
DK's gonna walk up. Hi, my name's DK.
Hi, my name's DK. I'm alcoholic.
Guys, just so you know, we're obviously totally joking. DK is not alcoholic, but
no, DK has a lot of self-control.
CJ Lavender says, "Old boy knocked out on that couch like he caught a Derrick Henry stiff arm."
Yeah, he's looking like Minka Fitzpatrick right now. Absolutely stiff-armed into oblivion. Look, this guy's got an excuse. You know, he had a couple drinks. Minka's got no excuse.
I don't know if Minka can count to 10 right now. Dude, he got put on his ass. Appreciate CJ.
Who
was the dude that Isaiah likely just? I mean, he made a moon crater out of the guy's, in the earth from the guy's helmet.
Yeah, he absolutely crushed him. But Jimbo, I gotta know what has Anthony Miller been showing in practice to deserve the snap count and target share that he received tonight? Because I don't know where he came from, but he must have been absolutely sensational in practice.
Yeah, he had. Let's see, I can give you some stats here. He had 3 receptions for 12 yards, and
I didn't know who he was.
3 targets, caught all of his targets, dude. Hey,
who is he?
Yeah, well, I just know that he's 30, so he's not a rookie. He's been around for a minute. Oh my God,
I got the hiccups, bro.
Emo says, I thought Earl Thomas left the Ravens, but he came back younger and with the Ravens mentality. AD, dude is a baller, underrated. Shout out to Oway and Beaks. Let me tell you what, dude. I'm an Oway fan, baby. I'm on here to eat crow and say Oway finally did something worth rooting for in a huge moment. It's been a long time coming. Shout out to Dafe Oway. Look, the food has been ingested and left the building, so we're good now. We're square. It's all good.
That's right. You're allowed to cheer him on now.
Yeah, keep performing. That's all I got to say, dude.
Jimbo, I was encouraging guys in the bathroom to double up on the urinals to move things along when Dafe Oway got that sack. And let me tell you, the eruption. I was like, quit being a bunch of cowards. Let's double up on these urinals. And whoever's using the first one, everyone in line is seeing your penis. Hey, look, Jimbo, look, he accepted it. He goes, I know. And it was cold. It was very cold out there today. Ladies and gentlemen, Don C, yeah, the grass is not greener. PQ, you can convince yourself all you want that you made the right move. The only reason that this was the right move is because they were the highest bidder. That is the only reason. You will continue to come up just short. You will continue to barely place above 500 and go absolutely nowhere in the playoffs, and I love to see it, PQ. I love it.
This is certainly our late night version of the show. And I also know I do appreciate the self monitoring, Glenn, because you said don't be a bunch of, and then you stopped and you changed the word to coward. Because I know you said something else, and I'm
You know
proud
what
of
I
you.
wanted to say.
I know the
Thank
whole
you,
world
Jimmy,
knows
for
what,
noticing.
but I'm proud
Thank
of
you.
you for not saying it, even though you are
'Cause
slightly inebriated.
At the stadium, you know what I'm saying. At the stadium.
I know.
Mhm.
Yeah, Glenn,
Oh, yeah.
Glenn lets his hair down a little bit at the stadium. B. Fowler,
Oh, they
awesome
all
game.
heard it.
So glad I went, dude. It was a blast. We had an absolute blast. The Ravens fans were wild and ruckus and loud to the point where Lamar had to ask us to be quiet.
MVP chants were too loud, Jimbo. They were too loud.
But look, we're a passionate crew. It was cold out there, but it didn't matter. Laura wrote and said, "Oh my gosh, what a game!" By the way, I saw you guys and tried to catch up to you. Looked like a crazy stalker. Laura, so sorry
Laura,
if we didn't catch you.
Track us down next time, Laura.
Yeah.
Grab me by the shoulder. I would have loved to see you in person.
Yeah, and we still want to see pictures of the puppy too. So, yeah.
Hey, Sadie, I didn't forget.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's keep. But shout out to Laura, we appreciate it. Young Lloyd said, "What happened to the L.A. Ravens today?" For real. I mean, I ain't even worried about it. Whatever. Who cares? They lost.
Yeah, who cares about Greg? We know what happens when Greg Roman gets in the playoffs.
But Jim's gonna ride and die with Greg. That's his guy.
It'll be interesting to see what this offseason has for him.
He's gone to the Super Bowl with Greg Roman. Let's not forget.
That's a good point. And
2 NFC Championship games. All right, DK.
I don't know what the hell is going on in the background.
Gene says, please talk about Roger lockdown in both games. Yeah, 100%. We were talking about earlier. TJ Watt didn't register a single stat unless punching people randomly to try to punch the ball out is a statistic. I'm sure he registered 1 or 2 of those. All right, let's keep going, DK.
Yeah, Roger was on top.
Dr. Uncle Bob says, Jimmy, tell Glenn his headphones are sexy for me and T. Glenn, your headphones are sexy?
These are Dr. Uncle Bob's headphones, I got to admit. And I don't know how they sound, but you sound majestic, Jimbo. You sound noble. You sound fantastic. And I don't know if you've ever sound better than through these headphones, but I know I might not sound quite as good as I do through the Shore.
Just go like this. It's gonna be a smooth flight to Los Angeles.
Roger that, Jimbo. Complete ass whipping by the Ravens today. Bent the Steelers over their knee and spanked their bare bottom.
No, you gotta go over.
Roger that. And speaking of Roger, shout to Roger, who absolutely shut down TJ Watt. You think you're your brother? You're not.
Dude, you know
you're
what?
Not your brother will be better. He'll always be better.
Oh my gosh. Anderson Condiments. Shout out to Anderson.
First of all, no. Anderson, kick rocks.
Oh, I didn't even read it yet. Josh Allen MVP. Yeah. He's trolling because I know him.
Okay.
He's actually he's a Ravens fan. He just is trolling.
All right, I'll be nice. Anderson, I was almost mean,
and
but
he's
Jimmy.
A young kid. He's a young kid.
All right, I'm going to be nice, Anderson, because I was about to be really rude.
Yeah,
but I'm going to be kind.
We appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. But
by the way, in case you guys were wondering, he's still sleeping, and I don't know his name. It doesn't matter what his name is. It doesn't matter what his name is, but he's here.
His name was Jeremy.
B. Fowler says, "No way, oh way, the Baconator rocks."
Yes.
Shout out to Odafe Owe.
Hey, Jimbo, and you know what? I appreciate you eating a little bit of crow because you said Odafe only does it when it doesn't matter, and he did it when it mattered tonight.
Hey, and it's player progression, right?
Yeah. He's getting better. He's getting better. Now, does this mean
right?
Right, and does this mean he deserves a massive pass rush contract? It does not. But if he wants to re-sign on a team-friendly deal, we'll take you.
We'll take you.
Take.
Are we up to date, DJ? Nice. All right. Well, I think that's it for us tonight, folks. Before it gets too inappropriate, even for the late night crew. But Glenn, have a great evening. DK, thank you so much for staying up late to the both of you. Shout out to the Ravens. Of course, we'll be here next week because we got another week of life. And so we'll be here prepping you for our next game. Let's go, Ravens. That's it for us tonight, folks. I'm ending this bad